felt like your defense was super connected. Banks in the middle was playing great defense at the rim, but at the same time, you guys were like helping and getting back at shooters really quickly. What did you see from you guys in terms of your connectivity on defense?
Yeah, I just saw a group that was really dialed into the game plan. And, some of that is that we had a few days, a little bit of extra time. Our season ended on the 26th. We had a little bit of period of time where we weren't sure who we were playing, and then whenever we were able to get our opponent, we were able to have a few days to sort of periodize how we were going to go over all of our coverages and all the adjustments and all that stuff that we were going to do. And I thought that our guys just had a really high level of focus during those days, and then a real attentiveness, and I thought they executed it at a really high level.
Seeing how hot you guys were from three to start the game, is there any sort of attentivity to, okay, we might not stay this hot, what else can we do? Is it just appreciating how on fire they were? What was your reaction when you saw how hot they were?
I think as a coach, as a leader, you're trying not to get swayed by whether or not your team is making or missing shots. It's less about whether or not they're going in and more about the quality. Are they the catch and shoot opportunities that we're looking for? Are we creating advantages, and are we taking advantage of those advantages whenever they're created? And then having an understanding that it might not last, and it's no excuse for a team to come back. And I thought that our group really, we had a big lead, and then we were able to handle that with a lot of maturity.
Obviously, JD's been doing this for all season, but as a coach and as somebody who's gotten to know him over the last few years, what are you seeing out of him, and kind of how does it feel, I guess, to watch him play the way that he's playing? It looks easy as a spectator.
Yeah, I think he's just really in control of whatever he's thrown at him, right? He's basically at this point through this season and last season seen every coverage that you could possibly see, whether people are being aggressive with him, whether they're trying to go under, whether they're weakening, whether they're playing zone. He's seen all those coverages. He works on those coverages every day, and he's got answers for all of them. And so whenever I talk, about how he's a intelligent, high IQ player, that's sort of what I mean. He knows the answers to those solutions pretty quickly.
How much of a boost did Miles give you? I think he hit 4 threes in the first 9 minutes. How much did that spark the team to get that sort of production really early?
Yeah, no, I thought it was good to see him aggressive. It was good to see him take those opportunities, and I thought that he impacted the game on both ends. Just his athleticism, his size, his attention to detail on all the game plan stuff, I thought was massive. He was huge.
Banks came in here and talked about a lot of guys doing different thankless jobs. His screening was a big reason why you guys got a bunch of those open threes. How much do you guys talk about that sort of screening, and how good is he at?
Yeah, no, those guys. I give it to him and Haas and Pip. Those guys work on their screening every single day. I mean, there's drills where they might not shoot the ball, right? They're working specifically on their angles and then offensive rebounding, right? And that's doing your job and doing it at a really high level. And all of those guys, all three that I just named, are really, really selfless and do that stuff. And it's sort of the stuff that doesn't show up necessarily on the box score, but does end up showing in their impact on winning.
Jordan hasn't spent much time up here, but he gets the information last night that he's going to come up here. That moves, I think, DJ to the bench. Moves everybody back a little. How does that impact you as a coach? Figuring out how to integrate him, and also, you might think some guys would be they have less of an opportunity now, but how does that kind of play out?
That's not our group. Our it's just having a conversation with those guys and being upfront with them and being as honest as you can be about what it's going to look like. And I give it to our guys. They make it really easy on me whenever something like that happens, because DJ was excited just to be in the rotation and be playing playoff minutes and be doing it at a high level. So he wasn't affected, and I feel really lucky and grateful that I have a group that's like that.
You talked about JD's talent, his IQ, but how about his motor? I mean, out there, you guys are up 30 points or something like that. When he gets chased down, block on Thor going in full, looks like an easy layup. What does that say about the fact that it never turns off for that guy? Yeah, no,
I thought his attention, his level, when I was talking about focus earlier, had to do with him. His level of detail to the defensive game plan was high level. He ended up getting our chain tonight. Was our defensive player of the game, and earned it with his ball pressure, with his ability to sort of be the head of the snake for us defensively. And he's been in moments where we've had leads, or he's been in moments where we've been down, and I think he understands not to get too high or too low in those situations, and understand that you have to still make the right plays. You still have to be locked into the details if you want to win at a high level.
Just from an overall perspective, how satisfying is it to see the performance from the team tonight, to shoot the way they did, to defend the way they did, as soon as it switches to playoff time?
Yeah, it was good, but honestly, it's right to Westchester for us. Like we've have a really short turnaround. I think we were really grateful and blessed to have some practice time to practice against these guys and get ready for it. And there's a lot less of that time now. And so, luckily, we played these guys recently. But it's going to be a quick turnaround, and that. I think even with our guys, that's where their minds are at.
Is the expectation that Jordan will be with you guys for the playoff run, or is it not?
I'm not sure.
Obviously, you guys made a lot of threes at the start of the game. You see Jordan dive on the ground. You see, these huge dunks. You hear the bench getting all hyped up, but you as a coach have to be so I don't want to say stone-faced, but so focused on the next thing. Is there any moment throughout a game like this where there are so many big moments, you guys are up by so much, where you not even get excited to the point that there's that, but you get hyped up for a play? You see Jordan, are you pumped up? How do you stay stone-faced in those moments when your guys are doing
I was pretty excited when Shaq made that loose ball play. I like when guys win 50-50 balls. I think that's big time.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Good, please.
For you and your coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
the G League playoff format, with it being single elimination and such a quick turnaround, like you just said, one day off and then you're on to Westchester. What are those challenges, and how does that change things for you and your staff as you kind of prepare and do your best to game plan for these guys? Because your team was clearly prepared and ready to go for Capital City tonight.
We talk all the time, it was one of the first things that we talked about was teaching these guys that you can't live and die by whether or not you make shots. It's not an excuse to lose games just because you miss shots. And so how do you do that? You win the possession battle, you offensive rebound, you keep them from offensive rebounding, you create turnovers. And so with the format that you asked about, to me, if you have a high level understanding of those things, of winning the shot margin, then it sort of sets you up to succeed in these single game eliminations where you might not shoot, you might not shoot 45%. And so you still have to give yourselves an opportunity to win by winning the shot margin. I thought tonight we did an okay job of it. We gave up too many offensive rebounds, but that's going to carry us through this single elimination formatting. And then in terms of the quick turnaround, I think it's also it's a good thing that we played Westchester recently, because these guys know exactly what they're walking into.
Just more on what they're walking into. You just played them, chippy playoff game. You go back to that very first home game here at the Expo.
Yep.
And kind of that first taste in front of these fans and playing the Knicks. You guys kind of have a relationship with them. Just your thoughts on that matchup, seeing them again in this moment.
Yeah, it's one of the more physically imposing teams in terms of just their size. With Moses Brown, Chuma Okeke, they got a lot of guys who have NBA experience with Johnny Davis, and McClure's there playing really well for them. And they've had Boo Buie all year who continues to get better. And so, they've had some assignment guys come down. Dadier was really good against us the last time we played. It's just a physical challenge. And so our guys know it's going to be a war, especially when it comes to sort of winning those margins, because they make it really difficult for you in terms of their ability to offensive rebound and their ability to create turnovers with their size and physicality. So we're excited for that challenge.